Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Lockdown Festival 2020 of the North Tyneside Ukulele Festival. And this workshop's all about beginning GarageBand. And like it says there, the fun starts here. Now, I'm going to do this more or less as I sing, and that's without any real notes. So if I stutter every so often, you'll understand why. It's because this is completely unscripted. But hey ho, here we go. So when you're using GarageBand, what we're talking about here is a piece of software for creating audio files, and audio files are what we're all about in the ukulele world. And you create track after track after track, and you layer them up to make your final product. GarageBand comes free with the Apple Mac. It comes free with the iPad. That's a slightly cut down version, perfectly okay version, but it's slightly cut down. And if you've got a Windows machine, really your only option is to go buy a Mac. But that's probably a bigger decision than you're going to make here. Okay, so when you open GarageBand up, you've got a screen that asks you what you want to do. Now, what you want to do here is create an empty project, right? An empty project. There it is. So you click on that empty project thing and you say choose. You will get a screen that comes up in front of your face there asking you to choose a track type. Now, when I do a recording of ukulele plus voice, I put the ukulele down first. So the one I'll be going for there is record using a microphone or line input and then create. And that might not always be the case. You might sometimes want to put a drummer down first. When you get into this in much more of a big way, you'd be surprised what you end up doing. But the one I use most of all to start off with is the microphone, just recording the ukulele. I only ever use the internal microphone on the Mac itself. I know there are better. I know, I mean, the microphone on the Mac isn't great, but then again, neither am I. So it's good enough for me. Okay. When you've clicked create in that previous slide, you get this sort of message comes to you, because when you don't have headphones in, you'll get feedback between the speakers on your machine and the microphone that's also built into the machine. You will get feedback. So a word of advice here is I'd put a pair of headphones on as soon as you start using GarageBand, and don't take them off until you're finished. Okay, so you'll be able to say okay to that message, and then away you go. So let's get you ready to record a track. Now we're recording an audio track here. Now it's going to be a ukulele track that we're recording. So you need to have a count in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I always set this for 2 bars for the very simple reason that when I've clicked the red record button and found where I put my plectrum and got my music arranged and all the rest of it, 1 bar has gone already. So 2 bars is just about enough. To be honest with you, if they gave me 10 bars there, I'd probably go for that one. But set yourself for 2 bars. It works better that way. Once you've done that, you need to set up a few other additional things. So moving along a bit, you've got that 200 there. That's your beats per minute. Right, 200 beats per minute this will be set in. This is a song in 4/4 time, and the key that it's in is F major. Now, I've got to tell you at this point, if all you're wanting to do is record a ukulele and then you singing, none of that is essential. Absolutely none of it is essential. So you may return to this in later times and start playing around with those numbers then, but for your very first tracks, I really wouldn't bother. Right next to that, you'll see there's a little tuning fork. That's for tuning your instrument if you need to. That's not a problem. It's very good, very accurate thing. Then there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, which means you've got your count in. It's going to happen. And next to that, there's a metronome, also a little purple symbol there, metronome. I always turn the metronome off because the clicking is sometimes transferred through into the microphone and you can actually hear it. So I actually get rid of that one. Okay, so let's just imagine now I've recorded my I've recorded my ukulele, and what I've done is, instead of just having the straight recording, I've actually passed it through a set of filters that GarageBand comes with. And what I've done there is I've passed my recording through a filter for an acoustic guitar, a natural strum. Now this is what's called the library, right? You'll see that there's three classes in that library: voice, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and bass. Because it's a ukulele, I'm into the acoustic guitar area, and to be honest with you, natural strum doesn't do very much to it at all. So you can tweak around with those and have a good time picking the various types that you can get there. The electric guitar, there's all sorts of different things there. There's an experimental section. There's massive choice. Probably about, I don't know, maybe 120 different types of thing you could set your ukulele up to. But let's face it, it's a ukulele, so it's you don't want to get too far away, removed from the truth. Now, once you've done your uke recording, it's time to do your voice recording. So again, you would go through the track at the top line there, the very top line where it says track, add a new track, and that track would be an audio. So let's just say we've just done that. We've seen that already. Okay, so there we go with an audio, and just like with the ukulele, you get to choose what type of voice you want to sing in. Now, I mean, it may be a bit of a cheat, this, because I mean, you're not really doing a telephone voice. You're not really doing a tracking vocal. You're not really into the experimental stuff. But then again, you're not really in a recording studio as well. I mean, you could be doing this in your bedroom, in a kitchen, in whatever you like. I mean, this is happening. This is our small bedroom that I'm recording this in. Okay, so you record your voice. Now you'll notice there on the dance vocal sounds okay with my voice. It's not a great voice, so I try to tart it up as much as I can. Right. So, but you'll notice that the first couple of bars are missing. I coughed in there, and so I actually cut that bit out. And it's easy enough to do. You just highlight it. You say edit. Split the track, and then I deleted the offending bit. It's easy enough to do. Okay, so I've set up my ukulele on a natural strum filter. I've set up my voice on a dance vocal filter, and again, you can see there's loads of choice. You're not going to be spoiled for choice at all. Now that is where you might want to stop. Okay, you might not want to go any further than that. You've just got a ukulele track, you've got a voice track. That could be where you stop. You might be asking, well, why can't I just do them both in the one track? Why can't I just sit here, play my ukulele, and record it? And the answer is yes, of course you can. Absolutely no trouble at all. But you might not get the balance dead right between your ukulele and your voice. Now you'll notice that where the dance vocal is there is highlighted up. There's a little green section. Now that little green section is the volume of the vocal. Now I've got mine set more or less the same as the ukulele volume, but if your ukulele is too loud, you can turn your ukulele down a little bit. Now if you're just doing one recording, you're turning down your voice and the ukulele at the same time. If you're doing two recordings, two tracks, you can turn them down separately. You can play with them separately. And equally, when you're recording two tracks, you can make sure that the filters that the various sounds have been through are sort of what you want, rather than having to put both the voice and the ukulele through the same filter. Now, as I say, you could stop there. Right, what you've got there is a ukulele track, you've got a vocal track, you could actually stop there. Let's not, because there's lots more to do. One of the things that GarageBand is really good at is letting you be a schizophrenic. Okay, now what I've got here is Wagon Wheel. Now, every ukulele group plays Wagon Wheel. I have to say that before I joined a ukulele group a couple of years ago, before I joined Bay Uke, I had no idea what Wagon Wheel was, never heard it before in my life. But okay, so there's 11 tracks on here. 2 of them are from GarageBand itself, which we'll talk about those in a minute. But the rest of them, the other 9, are me. Now, you can't do more than one thing at a time. So doing 9 things at a time requires multiple recording. So let's look at what we've got here. There's the various tracks that are actually on that wagon wheel recording. All right, so here we go. We've got a bass line, we've got a drum set, we've got a lead vocal, a backing vocal, something called Country Gent. Now that was a tenor uke that I put through a filter. That's actually just appears in just a couple of bars right in the middle of it. Backing vocal 2, that was me doing a third voice on the choruses. Banjolele, got the old banjolele off the wall, played that. It didn't really do very much, that filter, it more or less unchanged. Baritone uke, I play the baritone uke more than anything, so that went through an acoustic guitar filter. Tenor uke, that's the one that plays right the way through the song. Tenor guitar, which is basically the difference between a baritone uke and a tenor guitar is pretty slim, but it's a different instrument. And then eventually and finally, there's a mandolin on there as well. I cheat, actually. I don't keep it as a mandolin tuning. I put it through as ukulele tuning. But you see, there's various tracks there, and most of them is just me singing with me, playing with me, etc. The two that aren't are the very top two, the bass line. That comes from the GarageBand sound library, and there are gazillions of samples you can use over there. And the drum set is another one of their sound bites, another one of their they call them loops, Apple loops, and you can just drag and drop those into your music as you need them. Now this wagon wheel recording is actually available on the website. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay, so when you actually want to combine the whole lot and make an MP3 out of it, what you do is you go for share on the top line and then drop down to export song to disk. Right, you know you're getting close at this point, because people can't handle GarageBand files, and what you've got there is 11 different tracks, which are, they're just not related to each other in a minute. But this is where the software gets clever, and it's going to actually make a sound file, a usable sound file, out of all of this. So when you click on that, you end up with this little dialog box. Wagon wheel is there. That's the name that's gone into it. I always go for MP3. I'm sure that the others have got their values and their special characteristics, but I don't know what they are. So I just use MP3, and it works fine for me. And then when you press export, it goes through two processes. It goes through something called bouncing, which I have no idea what that means, and then it converts the whole lot into an MP3 file. And there you are done. You have actually created a sound file with however many tracks on you've used, and you've made it. You have got something you can play, you can send around, you can do whatever you want with. And the first thing you'll want to do as soon as you've done that is go record another one. Okay, so the first question I need to ask at this point is, why are you still here? Go record some songs, all right? Don't muck about. Enjoy. Bye.